Hello, hello. In this video, we start what will ultimately be a few different videos around this project that you're looking at right now. It's a simple to-do application, and you might go, there are lots of those out there. I can search to-do application and get just a bunch of these. This one came to me from a student in a boot camp. So it was an assignment that they were given where they had to link up both a back end, an Express server, and a front end using React. And it had some interesting bits in there. When they did it, they weren't quite prepared, right? I don't know if that's just the nature of the learning, but we went through it. I helped them, mentored them, and they got it done. Got top marks. So pretty good stuff. Looking through here, we have the front end, okay? We'll actually start with the back end. I'll talk about that in a second, but the front end is going to be React, and we're going to stand this up very quickly using create Vite, right? So we'll do that really fast. There'll be a few components that they want in here, some state management, and then of course some API calls, okay? And styling. We'll do CSS as well. Then we have the back end. And the backend starts out with a very interesting request where they want the React app to be served inside of the Express app. And I've never really done that, right? I've never really put the React app inside of the Express app. So did a little bit of research. We figured out a way, and I will be showing you how we did that. Obviously, lots of different ways. This is just how we did it, okay? APIs, right? There's a few endpoints we're going to do in here. I think we end up doing one more get for just unique IDs, so individual IDs. Get all the IDs, get an individual ID, create, update, and delete, right? It's all of our CRUD operations. This is the second interesting one. So use an in-memory data store. And when the student asked their instructor what that means, the instructor kind of came back and said, just use local storage, which is not Express. That's in the browser. So very much not using Express, not needing API. We are not going to do it that way. So there are probably a few ways to do this. What we're going to do is we're going to stand up a very simple SQLite server. SQLite uses a file, right? We don't actually need a server. It's just a file that the code reads and writes to, okay? So still uses a lot of the SQL stuff that hopefully you've learned, or hopefully it won't be too surprising. So that's what we'll be doing. And in fact, SQLite does supply us with an in-memory way of doing this. So we don't have to even write to a file. I'll show you what that looks like when we get there. There will be some middleware along the way because we will have to cover off things like cores, obviously, and of course, building our app in a very maintainable way. So we are going to look at a few different pieces of middleware along the way. Also, JSON request bodies, right? We'd usually use something like body parser, but there are a few other ways, okay? And then we will finish with all of the good stuff that links it all together with the README, okay? So my plan of attack for this is, again, it's going to be several videos, right? It's not going to be a quick one and done thing like my other videos, okay? Instead, we're going to start with a backend. We're going to set up the Express server. We're going to set up all of our endpoints. They're just going to shoot out placeholder data. Okay, that's going to be our first video. In the very next video, that's what we're going to do. After that, we're going to add in SQLite. Okay, so we're going to set up our database, and then we are going to use it inside of these API routes that we've created. Okay, along the way, there will be some middleware that we need to do with that, but those will be the next couple videos. After that, we're going to flip over to our front end, where we build out all the components that we need, and we're going to build a very ugly app, right? There's not going to be any styling in here for that video. The video after that, we will definitely add styling. So we want to get the logic working. Then we're going to do the styling, right? That's where the styling comes in. And then we will round it out with all this other good stuff that they're asking for, like a README, right? We'll quickly drop something in there and some stuff that will help us run these apps hopefully a little bit easier, okay? And also moving, as a part of that final bit, moving the React app into Express so that it gets served there, so that we only have to run one app for production. In development mode, we'll still be running two, but for production, we should only need to run one app. That's where we're going, okay? Things that we will not be doing, and this is just as important because what we don't do is ultimately as important as what we do. So if they didn't ask for it, we aren't doing it. You'll notice as you scan through here, they don't talk about things like auth, right? There's no comment about authorization or logging in, registering. We aren't doing it, okay? That's a whole other topic. That leads to multi-page apps and a whole lot of extra endpoints for the users, okay? So for this short one, we aren't doing that. Another thing that we aren't doing is linting prettier things like TypeScript. We're going to set all that to the side. If it comes along, for instance, when we stand up the React server using Vite, we will see some ESLint stuff in there, but we aren't going to do it ourselves. If it's along for the ride, we'll use it. Otherwise, probably not. And the final thing that we won't be doing is any sort of automated testing, okay? There will be visual testing along the way, and I'll show you some tools to make that easier, but nothing automated. So we aren't going to get into Jest or VTest or Cypress or anything like that, okay? That's it. We're going to do this over the next few videos, and hopefully it'll all make sense. If that excites you, please follow along, and I will see you in the next one.